Hey guys, my name is Danish and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the same phone that I spoke about 2 months ago, which is my LG G8X. So this is my long-term review of this smartphone. So let's just get started. So where do I begin? So it's been 2 months and I have a lot of observations that I had about this smartphone. So if you haven't seen my unboxing video of the first LG G8X, you can check it out over here. If you haven't seen my first impressions about my LG G8X, you can check it out over here. Things that I've seen, the pros and the cons. I have made notes. So let's just go through all of this one by one. So I'll start off with the negatives. So the number one negative that I saw and have experienced a bit is the fingerprint sensor being a bit finicky, in the sense that as it is pretty low in the display, it is really hard to get used to it. But once you get used to it, you can just put your finger there instinctively and unlock the phone. It does take a few tries at times, but it's not as much as the reviewers have blown it out of proportion. It is a bit annoying from time to time, but not something that can break the phone's experience. So that is not a biggest nitpick that I have about this phone. The next thing that was a negative but then sort of became neutral was the weight of the smartphone. So just the phone, it is pretty light, but with this case it is pretty beefy and pretty heavy, pretty thick as well. It's a thick boy, but yeah, you're used to the dual screen weight after a couple of weeks. I had a bit of wrist pain for the first week of using the phone, but I did not remove the case to ease the pain as I have weak hands, skinny boy here. So just getting used to the weight becomes second nature and it doesn't feel heavy, and other smartphones start feeling light. So I do use this case every day, so I'll come to that in the positives. The next thing is this magnetic connector over here. Where is the one that I use? This one. So it is pretty strong. I have been using MagSafe for quite a while. My MagSafe charger for my laptop is right over there. I'm a big advocate of MagSafe, and this is going through a few of the same difficulties and issues that I had with my laptop MagSafe. That is metallic debris getting collected over here, which you have to clean carefully and remove it, otherwise the pins will burn out. They haven't burnt out for me in my usage of charging it every day, but the pins on my MacBook did burn out and I had to replace that connector as well. So I don't know how much long-term feasibility this is going to have and how much abuse will this hold. So it is something that I have to check it out, use every day, and I'll put updates of this and also the spares of this magnetic connector, because if you forget this connector and go out somewhere, you have to remove the phone out of the case and then have to find a place to keep the case, then charge the phone. It's a bit of a hassle, but yeah, I have had leads that they are available in the service centers for 650 rupees or something, but I have to go check it out, get a few spares, and then I'll update you guys on that. Okay, one small nitpick that I had about this is at times whenever I'm using the phone and I want to open this, it creaks. It isn't creaking right now, but yeah, the hinge creaks a bit, which is probably wear and tear, but it's something that you should look out for in your own G8Xs. And yeah, as I had said in the previous LG G8X journey video, this top corner is not going to connect with the case when you close it. See, there's a gap over there and you have to force it in. That's because of these not having enough structural support in this top half, and removing the screen will make this to flex. So it is something that can be re-engineered by having a bit more thicker bezel in the future models, because this big cutout is not needed because the camera module is just so small in the middle, like 2 eyes, 3 eyes. So yeah, that is one more thing that you should always look out for in your G8X, because that flex is not good, because if this thing is flexing, it is going through wear and tear. If it's going through wear and tear, it will break someday. Also, this makes it really annoying for me to mount my smartphone to a tripod. If you know of a better solution to mount it with this on, I don't mind having the screen open like this, as long as it clamps nicely over here and I can record like this. I don't mind. Also, this cutout, it's a very annoying cutout. It doesn't fit any of this larger connectors that I have over here, which is pretty stable for all the high-end microphones or headphones. So I had to trim out the adapter, Y adapter that I'm using right now with the phone, to accommodate connecting these guys to my phone. Even the aux cable in my car had to be trimmed out so that it fits in this. It's just the rubber coating that I've trimmed out, but yeah, damaging another product to work with this product. I didn't trim this out because I don't know what wires are going through, because the connector goes from here to the the hinge, so I'm not going to touch anything in this and lose out on this dual screen functionality. So that is another thing that I had to go through. I did touch upon the gaming aspect, that is with the G8X using the dual screen where you can use the main screen as a controller. It was a bit buggy for me in a custom controller setup where I had to map my own buttons and use it, and sometimes the controller would just stop accepting input and I had to tap the screen and then tap the controller again to make it work. I haven't played many games that have the default controller support inbuilt, like all the inbuilt controller settings that have been there. I don't game a lot on my phone. I don't have any games on my phone, so this is something that you guys should tell me, the other G8X owners, on how the controller life is, how is it working, are there any bugs, is it working nicely? Let me know in the comments or hit me up on my social media channels. And I think that's the end of the nitpicks. Now coming on to the pros. Number one, the battery life. Even with the dual screen, I go through a day easily and have some battery left in the end. I get more than 6 or 7 hours of screen on time. I haven't kept track of it, but with the dual screen on, it gives me good battery life. Without the dual screen on, I rarely use the phones. If it is giving me such good battery life with the dual screen, without dual screen also would be great, I guess. And then the cameras. I have had so much fun with the main camera shooter, and even the ultra wide with the 4K 30 option. It is great because I can shoot in a huge range of vision and then crop into whatever I want. The next thing, the 3.5mm cable. I love the 3.5mm jack. I use it a lot. And the next thing is the elephant in the room, which is the dual screen. So I have read people and seen that half of the people who buy the G8X don't use the dual screen a lot and just keep it aside and just use the main phone as a great bargain smartphone. But I use this every day. I use it to watch it, be a bit more productive. The keyboard functionality is great, but it only works with the LG stock keyboard where you can have the typing box over here and the keyboard in a horizontal layout, and you can do this like a laptop. You might need a bit of a smaller finger size than mine, but yeah, it's still fun to use. It's pretty good to increase your typing speed as well, and yeah, you can get a lot more done when you have two screens at use. I always have two screens at use even on my PC, and I'm multi-screen gang. Rise up, PCMR. The next point is these buttons. I'm going to rave on about this. I did talk about this in the previous video as well, but just listen to these, how clicky they are. That's just satisfying to use. They are just as clicky as the buttons on the phone, and I just have fun. They don't feel mushy, they don't feel like obstructions. See, I just want to keep clicking these, and that shows how good of a feel this provides me. This doesn't slip on me. I have a plastic screen protector on the front just because I couldn't find a glass one for the front, and it's just good enough, but it does still get a lot of dust and dirt. But whatever scratches are happening on the plastic layer and not on the silver chromed area. I don't have a screen guard on the main screen because I don't know how much clearance this will provide me when I have a screen guard, at least the thicker screen guards that I've been used to from Spigen from all of my devices. Not sponsored, by the way, I'm just a big fan of the brand. And I am thinking of getting a skin for the back of the phone just so this window can have some sort of flare, but yeah, that's something I have to look into. The always on display screen on the front, the small white monochrome, it's just like an always on display, just your time, notification icons, simple. You can easily check at a glance if you have any notifications. Also it shows battery life as well, which is pretty great because I don't want to open the phone to check what the battery is and do I charge it or not. And I guess that's it. I have an all-round fun experience with this device. The software is pretty good, nothing to nitpick about. The performance is great, cameras are great. I have fun, especially in the pro modes. The auto mode is a hit or a miss, but with a layer of edit it works. It's great. It captures good photos as long as you throw enough light at it. But it's still going on for 26,000 or 27,000 on Flipkart. I'll link it in the description if you want to go check it out. If you're still interested in buying this, I am going to give you a disclaimer again that the LG smartphone market is still under speculation on if LG will keep continuing or if somebody else buys a company and continues the LG brand smartphone. So just if you want a phone just for a good value for money, LG is still a good bet here. A lot of budget smartphones are coming, and if you want me to make more breakdown videos that I did like last year, just cutting down through all the budget price segments and giving you the best phone for certain specific ranges, do comment down below and let me know, and I'll have a good idea if you really want that or you don't. So I guess that's the end of this video. Yeah, it's just been a collection of observations that I had with the LG G8X. 2 months of usage every day, charging, traveling, using the dual screen, multitasking. So if you like this video, give this video a like, get subscribed to my channel and ring the bell icon to receive notifications of all of my videos when they come up. Comment down below your observations and things I missed out, and as usual, stay home, stay safe, I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.